Mandela, my brothers and my sisters, hope all is well. Hotep to you, I greet you. Um, See who's going to be hanging out with me today. See who's going to be hanging out with me today. All right. See if my notifications coming out, going out. See if my notifications going out. We'll see. All right.
Separated mini washer.
All right. Brother Chikori, Hotep, man. Hotep King. Hotep, my brothers and my sisters, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hotep, I greet you in our ancient Kemetic language, ancient African language. Hotep means peace. I see it's only two names here. I don't know if that's only two people here at this time, or if you are on, I just want to see your name at this time. I don't know if the notifications are going out late or not. This is 8 minutes now. People just start coming in. I don't know if you're just coming in or the notification just went out. I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm not going to sweat that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see y'all this morning. If you know how to share this, please let someone know that we're on. All right. Those of you who may be watching this later on, and those of you who may not know me, my name is James Anyabwile Wilson. I am the spiritual teacher of the God in Action Ministry Spiritual and Culture Center in Albany, New York. And we want to thank you for tuning in. We appreciate your presence. We do not take your presence lightly. When you come in, you're part of the family, the gang, the village, the posse. Okay. I said family and all that stuff. Yes, you're part of it. So therefore, we work together. Like I said, if you know how to share it, this live with someone, please email someone, please share it with someone, text somebody, let somebody know that we're on. All right. If it's good enough for you, it's good enough for me, it's good enough for somebody else. Ashe. So thank you once again. Get your coffee and your tea, your brunch, your lunch is around that time. All right. I got some work to put in, but it ain't gonna take me all day to put it in. All right. Brother said didn't get Facebook notice. Yeah, I've been having that problem for a while. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I know I'm not that much of a threat or danger, so I don't know. I know I'm not that. I will never put myself to that level. But who knows? You got people out here just, technicians out here just anything will throw up a red flag nowadays. You know what I'm saying? So just want to I just want to share with some of you who will come on later on with what I'm all about. What my mission is not what other people's mission is. Their mission is their mission. My mission, my purpose is to inform, not to convince. To inform, not to convince. I'm not here trying to convince you to believe this or believe that, to believe what I believe, to accept what I accept, or, try to bash you upside your head to get you to change your mind. No, my my mission is to inform you, not to convince you. My job is to encourage you to be more of an analytical and critical thinker where no one can just give you anything and tell you anything and you just go along with it because it sounds good. My mission and my job is to challenge you, to challenge you. If we're not challenged, if my mind is not stretched, if we're not being introduced to information that does not always line up with what we already know, so we're not being challenged. You know what I'm saying? In order for us to strengthen our minds, strengthen our lives, we have to be challenged mentally, okay? And if you're not challenged mentally, like I said, you're going to remain a scholarly midget, and that's what I don't want us as a people to be, because they have purposely lowered us to that level. Also, my job or my mission is not to try to convert you to any religion. I have nothing wrong against any religion. I respect them all as long as they are used as instruments for the liberation of Black people. So my job is not to convert you because I do not subscribe to any religion. Okay, our African ancestors were spiritual people. Okay, I always share that religion is a program of oppression and control. It teaches you not how to think, but what to think. Ashe? So I just wanted to share that about me so you don't say, well, he ain't saying what Creflo Dollar be saying. He don't be talking like Juanita Bynum. He don't be talking like T.D. Jakes. He don't be talking like Joyce Myers and Joel Osteen and them. I only listen to those type of people. He ain't saying nothing like that. I ain't trying to convert you or convince you. Trying to teach you. All right, brothers and sisters. Like I said, if you can share this, share it with other people. Okay. I'm not going to wait. I'm going to move in. The early bird gets the worm. We said the program starts at 12 o'clock. Okay. We give like 10, 15 minutes for people to come in. Hey, it's summertime, I guess. People are doing their own thing, and that's fine. Let me move into my lesson today, put in this work. And I hope that you get something out of this, what I'm going to share. Where am I? I got to think here. Where am I? Okay. Here we go. I'm at the bottom of the screen. Okay. Now, make sure this is okay. Those of you who may listen to this later on, I am in no way trying to bash or demean or disrespect or try to debunk any Christian teaching or any religious teaching. That's not what I'm doing. All I'm doing today is presenting something to you where you can use your own mind and come to your own conclusions. That's all I'm doing, presenting information. Not going to say this is right and this is wrong, this is true and this is false. I'm not coming here to do that. I'm just giving you information so that you can use your own mind and come to your own conclusion. Okay? Ashe. Now, I hope that everything is well. Let me see. Let me make sure that everything is running well here. And I'm going to move in, okay? I appreciate your patience. So to make sure everything's running well so I don't have to stop. Okay, there we go. Looks good here. Looks good. Okay. All right, cool. Now, today's lesson, brothers and sisters, is this. There was a Christ and people called Christians way before Christianity, the religion of Christianity, existed. Did you hear what I said? There was a Christ and a people called Christians way before the religion of Christianity existed. And the question should be, how can that be? How can that be? We're going to deal with that. Put on your student hats, y'all. I'm going to have to take my time with this, okay? Write some notes. You can always go back to this. This man, Ptolemy, or it's not Ptolemy, it's Ptolemy. Ptolemy the first Soter, Soter. He was a Greek. and he was also the first European pharaoh of Egypt in history. I didn't want to say ancient Egypt because Greeks are not ancient people, but he was the first European pharaoh of Egypt in history. He reigned during what is called the Ptolemaic dynasty of Egypt. That was 323 to 285 BCE. This dude, or this pharaoh, this European pharaoh, Ptolemy the First, Soter, he was a general and of Alexander the Greek, the Great, the Greek, the Freak's army, and a very good friend of Alexander the Greek, or the Great, or the Freak. As I shared before, that Alexander the Greek, follow me, he conquered Egypt in 332 BC, right? And because Ptolemy the First, Soter, was his general and a very good friend of his, that's how he became the first European pharaoh in Egypt. Which that saying is not what you know, is who you know. You know, if you got some connections with somebody, they can get you in. And that's what happened with Ptolemy. At the bottom, you see on the right, you see Alexander the Greek, the Freak, who they call the Great, 3200 BC, 332 BC, he conquered Egypt. And Ptolemy the First, Soter, on the right, I said on the left, Alexander on the right, Soter, his friend, a general, he was given that power over Egypt, becoming the first European pharaoh. Okay, I just need to break that down, okay? Now, his name is Ptolemy the First Soter, Soter. The last part of his name, Soter, it comes from the word, this is key, soteriology, which is the doctrine and study of salvation. Okay? He was also known as Mary Amen Setepenra. Mary Amen Setepenra. He was also known as that. And I'm going to give you the breakdown of his name. That was not given to him. This name was not given to him. He took this name upon himself. I'm talking about Ptolemy the First Soter. He took Mariam Santepera upon himself. Okay, you know how they do in church? They give themselves, well, I'm Dr. Bishop so-and-so. I'm Bishop so-and-so. I'm Apostle so-and-so. I'm a chief apostle so-and-so. I'm prophet. So you know how people just give themselves titles? You know what I'm saying? He took Mariam and Santepera upon himself. Now, I'm going to break down the name, what Mariam and Santepera means. He gave this name to himself. Mary, Mary, means beloved or beloved, loved or beloved. Amen means God. Setepenra means chosen by God. So this name he gave himself, this European pharaoh, Mariam Setepenra, it means one who is beloved and chosen by God. Okay? Now, this is a coin of him in 320 BCE. They made of him. Okay, just to prove it dates back to his administration and how when he ruled and reigned over Egypt. Let's move. Now that Ptolemy, the first Soter, is in Egypt, he wanted let me cut this off. He wanted the Egyptians
Power off.
And I don't know if you know that, excuse me, he wanted the Egyptians. I don't know if you know, you know or not. I know I taught it, that the ancient Egyptians were really, they're Africans. The Europeans, the Greeks and Romans gave them the name, they named it Egyptians. They're really Africans, okay? So when I say Egyptians, I also mean Africans. When I say Africans, I say Egyptians. They're simultaneous, okay? So Ptolemy wanted the Africans or the Egyptians to concentrate him, anoint him as a god while he's in Egypt. Because in traditional, the pharaohs, they were called gods, not the big G, the small g. All right. And when he wanted them to make him a god, they didn't want to do it. They really did not want to do. They refused to do it, to make him a god, because number one, he was a foreigner, he was a foreign invader, and number two, that he was a European. So no, we're not making you no god here. But Ptolemy wouldn't take no for an answer. So by military force, you hear what I said? Military force, he became the pharaoh, the only European pharaoh in Egypt. He told them, you're going to make me a god. And not only make me a god or make me a pharaoh, you're going to make a god in honor of me, to represent me. And if anybody refused to do it, I will put them to death. Are you hearing me, brothers and sisters? Here's a picture. Look at these pictures, they're worth 1,000 words. You see a person dressed in European clothes, Egyptian clothing, smiting a black Egyptian. That person smiting him is a European dressed as an Egyptian. They came into Egypt to Africa, and they wanted to take on their culture, take on their dress, take on everything, their spirituality. They wanted to become one of us. You know how that goes. All right? So this is what's going on here. If they did not make him a pharaoh, did not make him a god, he would have killed the people. Right? Now, when I look at this story, if you don't make me a god, if you don't anoint me as a priest or a pharaoh, I'll kill you. It reminds me of the story that's found in that biblical story that's found in about the three Hebrew boys. You know about the three Hebrew boys, right? When King Nebuchadnezzar's a story, he made a 9-foot golden statue, and he commanded the people to bow down and worship it. And he said, if y'all don't do it, I will kill you. I'll throw you in the fiery furnace. And according to the story, everybody bowed down except these three young brothers, three young Hebrews. But they had to suffer the consequences for refusing to bow down. That reminds me of the story of what's going on here with Ptolemy forcing them to make him a pharaoh, a priest, and make an image of him. And they refused to. He said, I'll kill you if you don't. Now, check this out. So what Ptolemy did, Ptolemy the first Soter, what he did was, those who refused to do it, he killed them. But he found some Melkite, Coptic Egyptians. These were still Africans, right? Who were Negropeans from the capital back then of Egypt was Memphis. Okay? So he found them, and for fear of for their life, they agreed to anoint or consecrate Ptolemy to the priesthood, and also make an image of his to honor him. Okay? Make an image to honor him. So now this new Greek or European pseudo-god was handmade, right? And they named it Serapis Christus. Serapis Christus or Christos. And it means, here, this is key, y'all. It means Christ the Savior the Son of God, who represents abundance and resurrection. Sounds familiar? Now, once that image was made, the Africans, the Egyptians, were forced to worship it. And this is the images that was made. On the left, you see a metal image. That was the one made in 350 BCE. That's a metal image that they made of Serapis Christus, Christ the Savior, the Son of God. And what was my lesson today? There was a Christ, and people called Christians way before the religion Christianity existed. Here is in 350 BCE a Christ. And also you see the Roman Greco version of this in 135 BCE of Serapis Christus on your right. Did I say right? On your left is the metal image. On the right is a Greco-Roman drawing and painting of this Christ, of this one beloved by God, this Son of God, who made himself, who named himself, and made them create and carve, paint an image of him. Are you hearing this, brothers and sisters? Okay. I know it could be challenging to some people who still immersed in religion. All right. Now, this is very important, my brothers and sisters. Very important. This is very important. Look at the date when Serapis Christus or Christos, meaning the Christ, look at the date that he was made out of metal. See this image here? Christianity, Jesus' disciples, the books of the gospel, Paul's letters in the Bible, nor any image of Jesus had existed at this time in history. Nowhere in history. This is happened in 350 BCE. Christianity is an AD. This came out 300 to 400 years before Christianity even started. Before there was a disciple, before the Christ came on the scene. Are you hearing me, brothers and sisters? Serapis Christus or Christos, meaning Christ, was made the Christ and Savior of Greco-Roman. I say Greco-Roman because the Greeks came in and invaded it and ruled it and took over it. So now it wasn't just 100% pure African Egyptians. Now it was Greco-Egyptians. It's like pouring cream in coffee, lightening up the coffee, integrating the cream in the coffee. So it's Greco-Egypt now. Are you following this, brothers and sisters? Now, the proof what I'm saying that there was a Christ, I proved already there was a Christ, Serapis Christus, that's the Christ. To prove my other point that there was people called Christians back then, I'm going to do that at this time. Here is a correspondence of a man called Emperor Hadrian, referring to the Alexandrians, which were the Egyptians or the Africans, the worshipers who worship this new god, Serapis. All right? He's referring to him in this correspondence, the worshipers of this new god, this European god, Serapis Christus, or the Christ. Quote, he says, Egypt, which you commended to me, my dearest Sylvanus, that's who he's writing to. I have found to be, talk about the Egyptians, I have found to be wholly fickle and inconsistent and continually wafted about by every breath of fame. Every white folk, all white people degrade black people. It is degrading the Egyptians, the black people, okay? He says, the worshipers of Serapis, see on the left, all right, are called Christians. And those who are devoted to the god Serapis Christus call themselves bishops of Christ. Bam! Did you get it? Did you get it? Those in Egypt that worship Serapis are called Christians. And those who are devoted to the god Serapis or Serapis Christos or Christus or Serapis Christ call themselves bishops of Christ. This was a letter by Hadrian to Sylvanus in 134 AD. Boom! At the bottom here, the left, that's in 2nd, 3rd century bust, a marble bust that's in London. It's in the Museum of London. The marble bust of Serapis, who was the Christ at the time, Serapis Christus, the Christ, the beloved by God, the chosen by God. And on your right, you see Christian worshipers, the worshipers of the Christ. But Christ never tell you to worship him anyway. That's why a lot of people messed up. Christ says, pick up your cross and follow me. He never said, worship me. Nowhere in the scriptures he said that. That's why a lot of y'all messed up, worshiping some man, some idol that came and so-called died for you. He never told you to worship him. He always pointed himself, you according to Christianity, he always pointed himself to the Father, to God. He never pointed himself, drew you towards him. He said, worship God and worship your God in spirit and in truth. In my Father's house. He said, in my house, there are many mansions. Are you hearing me, brothers and sisters? So here's the Christ that was in existence before Christianity was even invented. Then you have Christian people following this Christ, worshiping this Christ who existed before the disciples or any Christians after that. Are you following, brothers and sisters? See, now, what I just now showed you, brothers and sisters, this making of this new God and getting people to worship him and all that stuff, right? It was accomplished with the help of these Egyptian Negropeans. They collaborated with the enemy out of fear, but they collaborated. They were sellouts. They were Sambos. And we got a lot of them running around in our midst today, working against their own people for the crumbs that fall off the master's table. Yeah. They sold out. Negropeans, Sambos, they call them Toms. Huh? Look at the picture here. Two men shaking hands, collaborating, making a deal. And I wrote, this is what happens when you shake hands to make a deal with our open enemy. You sincere. Their agenda is to poison you, to work against your own people. See the snake? Injecting them with poison. The poison of European agenda. Plans. Black annihilation. Oh yeah, they need some Uncle Tom, Sambo, Negropeans to help carry out the work. And a lot of us, black power, black power, black power. As soon as the daggone European cough, you're behind around the corner, under a chair in the closet, talking about, no, multiculturalism. No. That black power stuff is too black, too threatening. I'm going to water it down a little bit. I'm going to love everybody. Rainbow Coalition. COVID have exposed a lot of Negropeans, some sellout and Sambos. Yeah. It sure enough did. So thank God for COVID-19. Not for taking people out, but calling people out, bringing people out, exposing their behinds. All right. I'm almost there, y'all. Hope you're getting something out of this. Though there were a lot of Uncle Tom, Sambo, Negropean sellouts, there are a lot of them in our midst. You get around white folk, you cheesing and smiling and grinning. Working with them to work against your own people. Work against, don't have your people's best interests in mind. Right? Though we have a lot of them in our midst, and maybe some on the program, on the platform watching today, there are many of us who will not collaborate with the powers that be. I give black power to you, brother and sister, who will not collaborate and bow down to the powers that be, who's still going to stay on the battlefield no matter what. We ain't going to punk out, chump out, get old and walk out, but die on post fighting for your people. That's the one I give a black power salute to. And others, you just go to sleep. We have sellouts, but not everybody will collaborate with the enemy. And this brings me to this African Libyan brother. Oh, yes. This African Libyan brother named Arius. Yes. Arius. At this time, Arius was connected to the religious community of the Roman Church. They was in power at the time. The Roman Church, big power. Just like the Republicans, the Democrats, the government had power. Back then, the church was that. And this was around 256 to 336 AD. You can research it yourself. So this brother Arius, who wasn't a sellout, who didn't get weak-kneed and noodle-backed, he began to stir up the church. He probably was the only black one up in there, you know what I'm saying? Or a handful, but you know what I'm saying? He stirred up the church. He upset the apple cart because he refused to bow down and worship this man-made God called Serapis Christus, or Serapis Christos, which is the Christ. This brother Arius, Arius, he stood his ground on truth. And there's a saying, brothers and sisters, if you don't protest against evil, you cooperate with it. I remember one time, man, in my life, probably several times, I've seen some unjust stuff going on, unfair stuff going on, some wicked, crooked stuff going on my job. I didn't open my damn mouth. And was doing it to a sister of mine, a friend of mine. We was close on our job. I watched these open enemies attack her unjustly and get rid of her. I did not open my mouth. Yeah, I was a Tom. I was a Sambo. I was a daggone sellout talking about black power. I'm talking about a long time ago. But I was just doing like I love my blackness, but didn't open my damn mouth for fear of losing my job. Yeah. And what did I just now say? If you don't protest against evil, you cooperate with it. I collaborated with the enemy. Because I kept my mouth shut. But I should have opened it and defended my sister and said, come what may. Oh, yes, I'm transparent. What about you? Have you ever tommed and samboed and sold out and walked around cooning? The only way we can make a change, we have to recognize our faults. Then we build ourselves from that. And that's why I'm bringing it up. I saw myself. I saw what I did. And I had to build myself up from that. I won't do that today. But we'll confront each other. Get up in each other's face. Keep pointing out each other's fault. But when it comes to the open enemy, you keep your damn mouth shut. I ain't gonna say nothing. God gonna take care of it. I ain't gonna say nothing. God will fight my battles. Jesus will fix it. But you get up in your own brother and your sister face. But talk religion when it comes to the open enemy. Somebody who don't look like you. Oh yeah, so here's our brother Arius. He stood up. He stood up by himself. He didn't need no group. He didn't need no posse. He stood up by himself, a soldier, a warrior for his people. And too many of y'all have sat down, just talking behind closed doors. He stood up to make a difference because he knew that what they was teaching the people was poisoning their mind. And that's why I do what I do today. I come as an Arius. Yes, what you're being taught in religion, I'm not going to say all of it, but the majority of it is used to poison your mind, to have you bow down to some European man to save you from a monster or a devil that you can't see. A hell, I taught on last week, that man created from their own, the figment from their imagination. I'm an Arius coming today. Oh, yeah. That's the warrior coming out of me, y'all. So when Arius started telling the people that they were worshiping a statue, a man-made statue, a handcrafted statue, worshiping a false god. As I said, the Roman church rulers, the authority, they were furious because he was making the people think for themselves. And what did I tell you every time you come here? I want to encourage you to be an analytical and critical thinker. Think for yourself. And that's what Arius was doing. They was furious because he was teaching black people, his Egyptian African black people, yo, they twisting your mind, they're lying. That Christ, Serapis Christus, that Christ, that so-called Son of God is not real. They got mad at him, angry, furious. And I always share on this platform, religion was never designed to teach black people how to think, but what to think. And a brother like me comes along and gives you something that contradicts or goes against your teaching, you think I'm crazy. You think I'm lost. You think I'm an antichrist. You think I'm a devil. You think I'm confused. Oh, Reverend Wilson. Oh, Pastor Wilson, when he was a part of the Baptist Association, oh, he was on in line. He was on point. But now he talking that stuff now. Oh, we have to pray for that brother. He need to get saved again. He's lost. He's a false teacher. He's a heretic. Oh my God, I'm worried about him. I'm concerned about him. Oh my God, he's just talking and bringing out stuff that is a no-no in our association or in Christianity. Because my mission is to teach you how to think, not what to think, not to convince you, but to inform you. When the more information that you get, brothers and sisters, you can make a better informed decision in life. Informed, not just a decision, informed decision. Gather all the information, then you come to a conclusion. Don't just get no bits and bits and bits here and there and come to no conclusion. This is what was going on here. Religion teaching our people. Look at the picture here. It's worth 1,000 words. Not how to think, but what to think. You see a black preacher preaching there, like you know what I'm saying, preaching right there in the pulpit. But look who's overseeing the church service. Look who's overseeing the teaching. You see him? You see him right there? I don't know if you can see my arrow. See him right there? That's the overseer. You see that right there? That's his family. See him right there? See who's around there listening attentively? He's making sure that black preacher tells them what he wants to tell them. Tell them what he wants them to know. And that's how to be a good slave to master, to love him and just love those who despitefully use you. And that's what he was probably was preaching. Love your enemy. Love those who curse you, who despitefully use you. Love them as you love Christ. When you suffer down here, God gonna give you rewards in heaven. That's the kind of stuff they taught us. Something like Jesus. Well, you hear me, brothers and sisters? Oh yeah, I'm coming to my close. So now, Arius done upset the apple cart. This black brother stood up. The Roman emperor at this time, Emperor Constantine, he called an urgent meeting in 325 AD, which is called the Nicene Council. Look that up. I got the book here. Okay, look up the Nicene Council, 325 AD. So he called this council to deal with Arius, pushing back against worshiping the image of Serapis Christus or Serapis Christus or Serapis the Christ. We don't have to deal with him. So he called 318 Roman Catholic bishops. Roman Catholic bishops. So they convened to do what? Silence Arius, to condemn Arius, to banish Arius, to excommunicate Arius, to exile Arius and all of his followers from the Roman Church. because he stood up and told the people, hey, that's not real. They made that. That's metal. That's not real. He's not no Christ. He gave himself that name. He forced the people to worship his image. Hey, y'all, that's not real. We have to shut that nigga up. Let's have a meeting where Arius was not invited to. And he had two bishops who was in part of that same circle, right, friends, who was at the meeting, right? They kicked him, the bishops out, the ones who followed Arius, who stood with Arius, and all his followers. Are you hearing me? And when they kicked Arius out, this is key. The worship of Serapis Christus, Serapis Christos, the Son of God, what they call him, the Son of God, the beloved of God, the chosen of God, the Savior, the Christ. That worship and teaching continued. Once he got Arius out, the Roman Catholic Church continued with this. They tweaked it up a little bit. They tweaked up the name. No longer called the Serapis the Christ. But I read about some historians saying that they tweaked the name up and start calling it Jesus the Christ. I'm just saying. I read about some historians. I'm just saying. But this worship of this a man, this Christ, this Savior, this beloved of God, this chosen of God, this Son of God, that teaching spilled over and was fragments, made it into Christianity, the religion. Did you hear what I said? First it was Serapis, all in the worship of him, all that stuff kind of spilled over in the religion called Christianity, according to historians. Well, it's something you have to understand, brothers and sisters. If the Roman Catholic Church continue on with it and it's changed Serapis' name, maybe to Jesus or maybe something else, what did that have to do with the Christian religion? Well, did you know that the Roman Catholic Church is the mother of Christianity? It gave birth to the Christian religion. Did you know that? So all the ceremonies and rules and creeds and laws and beliefs and faith systems and all these different things was formulated in the Roman Catholic Church first. Then Christianity came on board, was birthed, and they tweaked it up, twisted it up to their liking, and here we are today. But as a child, it was birthed from the Roman Catholic Church. Roman Catholic Church. European Church. Facts over feelings, brothers and sisters. I know it hurts. Do your own research. Now, this is my close right here. I'm going to sum it all up. And all I was doing today was saying there was a Christ and people called Christians way before Christianity, the religion of Christianity existed. I proved it. That's what I did. I wasn't going to try to say what's real, what's not real, what's fake, he's just Jesus, that's not Jesus. This is false teaching, this is not, I wasn't, no, I just wanted to bring you the facts of what I have. Do your research. Prove me different. Holla at your boy. Now, the Greeks and Romans gave our Egyptian African ancestors Serapis Christos of Serapis the Christ to worship. Remember that? They gave it to us, right? And the Christian church gave our ancestors Jesus. And that's what we have today. Keep in mind that Serapis Christus and Jesus Christos, or Christ, both of them were violently forced on our ancestors. Our ancestors did not voluntarily become Christians. I can show you some pictures where they would beat half to death if they did not accept it. Same thing that Ptolemy did back then. If you don't make an image of me and worship me, I'll kill you all. Nebuchadnezzar said the same thing in the Bible, according to the Bible. If you don't bow down to this image that I created, I'll throw you in a fire. The same enemy. Across history, you get the same mindset. Want to be God above God. So both of them was forced on us, Serapis Christos and Jesus Christos. And here's the picture. Do your research. Serapis Christos on the left, Jesus Christos or Christ on the right. They kind of look alike to me. What about you? I'm just saying. Oh, brothers and sisters. Oh, hang with me, brothers and sisters. Hang with me. All right. All right. Brothers and sisters, I hope that you understood what I shared today. It's so important that you just stop being afraid of thinking, because a lot of us have been indoctrinated, you know what I'm saying, and afraid to even really look at these things, thinking that we're not going to be saved, that we're going to go to hell. So we leave it. I ain't going to mess with it. I'm going to leave it. I don't want to think. It hurts to think. It's scary to think. I'm afraid to think. Brothers and sisters, like I said, I just came to give you information, to inform, not to convince. Look over it again. Hope you wrote some notes. You can always go back. It's a PowerPoint. And that's what I do. That's what I wanted to do today. And I love you all for giving me this opportunity. Please share with some people. I appreciate that. And as I always share, I think this is the time where this is the part where people tune out. They leave the platform, but I'm going to do it anyway. Anybody who desires to help us continue our work, spread the information of truth to our people, please donate to our platform so that we can do so, continue our work. We don't tell you what to give. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what your financial status situation is. We just ask that if you can find it in your heart to give something to help us, be most appreciated. You know how we can come up with some money to buy some cigarettes or some weed, some beer, some liquor, some chips, Chinese food, pizza. Go here and there, travel. We really want to do something. We can come up with some money. All right. So a lot of times we say we ain't got it. We got it. It's just that we give it to things that we feel is important. So I just hope that this platform is one of those things that's important to you. Like I said, we don't focus on what you give, but something beats a zero. It will show your appreciation. Thank you in advance to those of you who can, and those of you who cannot. I understand. We understand. All right. So the information at the bottom of the screen, and you also can share it with friends and family and let them know we're about doing something. We're about teaching our people. If they want to donate or contribute, they can too. Whatever it may be, anything can help. Okay, anything will help. So we thank you for that. And if anybody have any questions, you can always. There's some people who have my phone number, and you also there's my email. Okay, if anybody have any questions, you can email me, Anyabwile, ANYABWILE.JJW@gmail.com. You can email me with your question. I'll get back to you. And I also would love for you to go over to our YouTube channel, and which is James Anyabwile. You can see at the bottom of the screen our YouTube. Go over there and please subscribe and like. Okay, thumbs up and so you can press notifications. So when we come in, you'll know that we're on. We're trying to build that up right now. It's very, 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 very slow. Got 20 something subscribers. Let's try to get to 50. I know that can be laughable to a lot of people, but that's a big thing to us right now. Let's try to get to 50. We got 20 something. All right. So help us out. Go over there and subscribe. Okay. You know what I'm saying? That's something that you can do. It don't cost you money to do that. Okay? So we thank you, brothers and sisters, once again. Appreciate you very much. I leave you as I came in with Hotep, which means peace. Raise that beautiful black fist, brothers and sisters. You know how we live up out of here? All right, let's do it. Amanla. Amanla. Amanla, which meaning power. Power to the people. Stay true to yourself, y'all. Talk to you soon. Keep each other in prayer. My time is up.